Good morning and happy Friday. My name is Nyoka Lynn. So I want to touch on something today. But before I do, I would like to mention how there are so many things in the world today that are being uncovered, and definitions of things are being switched around. So many things that we thought were one way are actually the other. The things that we thought were so bad are being proven to be not so bad. Yeah. But anyway, the word witch is what I want to talk about. I have a lot of friends who claim to be witches. And what are they claiming? What are they claiming? They are claiming that they have psychic abilities, all the clairs, clairaudient, clairsentience, all that. There's nothing wrong with that. I know it's been programmed in our heads to think that if anybody has these abilities of mediumship and anything like that, that they're evil and they're a witch. We all have these abilities. And some might say, well, I don't do that. I don't have that. I don't want that. And then you're going to have people say, oh, in Jesus' name, or whatever. Look, I love Yeshua. Yeshua went to the mystery schools in Egypt, in India, and all that. Yeah. Those years where he disappeared, that's what he was doing. He had some amazing teachers. And I know a lot of people don't want to hear that, but it's all documented facts. But anyway, when you have these abilities, these psychic abilities, working for you in your life, because like I said, we all have the ability to do that. It's just that our belief systems block it. But when we have these abilities, it's not a bad thing. Now, of course, there's also the Hollywood witch is what I call it. The Hollywood witch, the evil person over a big cauldron stirring and give me a break. In the witch trials, the Salem witch trials, how horrible was that? How absolutely horrific was that? They would take these people and torture them. They would set them on fire and thinking, well, if they're really a witch, they're going to get out of it, or drown them, hold their heads underwater. If they drown, well, I guess they're not a witch. But if they make it, they're a witch. What is that? What is that? My goodness, give me a break. I'm like, nobody ever questioned the people doing the murdering, though. That's the scary part. When the Bible was grossly manipulated to comfort the Roman Empire, they put all kind of little things in that book talking about cast down your imagination, for it is evil. Look, you are a co-creator of your life. Your imagination is one of your greatest tools. Your greatest tools. It lines right up with your sacral chakra. Yeah, all my artist friends and musician friends and all that. My goodness, can you imagine having to cast down your imagination? The Bible was manipulated into a book of control. Yeah, there's some good stuff in there. Yeah, but it was manipulated so that you would have to think that you couldn't have an imagination, that you are not allowed to use any kind of psychic abilities. I hid for some years in fear of being judged, called evil or whatever. And I know now I don't care. Now I don't care. I remember, I guess it was in 2014 or 15, I found out the name of my guides. And I was amazed. And I spent the whole day asking, what are your names? What are your names? Why did I do that? Because I used to attend these meetings and I used to hear people giving their guides names. And I'm thinking, I don't know the names of my guides. And one very lovely lady said, well, have you ever asked? So I spent the whole next day asking. When I stopped asking, I went to go take a bath. And as soon as I sat in the tub, I heard ever so clearly, we are Seth. I was so tickled. I was so tickled. I thought, okay, it's a we. It's a we because I was familiar with three different personalities that I would be conversing with. And so anyway, there was a time there where I could feel Seth, and I knew that I could channel. And I didn't. I didn't in fear of being judged, by being cast away from my family for just different reasons. I was afraid of it. And why was I afraid? Because of my religious background. hmm Religion. hmm Religion is coming out to the forefront, and it's going to be changed and eventually eradicated. And truth, the real truth, will come through. And I know a lot of folks are going to be mad about that, but well, I'm sorry. I understand. I understand where y'all coming from, because I was there, but I know who I am. And I know that the gifts that I have are not evil. Other people that were called witches were ones that, like the Wiccans, they work with the earth. Listen, we are nature. We are part of the earth, okay? And they work with herbs and spices and stuff like that, plants. What is wrong with that? What is wrong with that? That is evil? Look, I think it was in 1910 when the medical field was changed. They went from holistic natural medicine, working with all natural things. I think it was the Rockefeller Foundation. They went and changed everything. Do you know there was a time when hospitals actually used linen sheets because linen sheets are so healthy for you to sleep on? Linen sheets were taken away. The sun decks were taken away from the hospitals. Hydrotherapy, all kind of things, light therapy, all kind of things, natural things that actually helped, were taken away. Now, do I absolutely have disdain for the medical field? No, because I know for sure that if I broke a bone, I want to go have it x-rayed and set and have a cast on. Yeah, and I'm not saying that all medical Western medicine is evil. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying anything is evil. It has its place. But I just think that the people that are still working with all the holistic medicines that are having wonderful, wonderful results with, first one that comes to mind is Dr. Barbara O'Neill. I love that woman. I love that woman. And to all my Bible readers out there, you might want to check her out. Her name is Dr. Barbara O'Neill. Check her out. She's very much Christian, and she uses the Bible actually to show you different parts in there with her perception of how God intended for natural herbs and stuff to keep us healthy, because really the earth has provided everything that we need to heal. And because we were swept away from our natural abilities, because we are divine light at our core, we are a piece of God in physical form. We are all little fractals running around having a human experience to add to the expansion of all that is Source. Yeah. So those abilities were looked down on, so we've suppressed them over time. I see a lot of Native Americans, even in my family, you can just see that they were programmed. Because I promise you, Native Americans were not Christians or Muslims or anything like that. They were one with the earth. They knew that, and still do know, that the star family exists. You know, they were connected people. They were gifted people, still are. And I can see how some folks were grossly manipulated, let's just say. But my phone keeps slipping. But anyway, yeah, there's all different kind of versions of witches. Now, if you consider yourself a witch, namaste. Look, I absolutely appreciate like-minded people. I surely do. I surely do. Then I've heard, well, what about the divination tools? It's all permission slips, as Bashar says. Some people are more open to card reading. Some people are more open to other forms of tools, if you will. And no, nobody is going to that fiery pit of hell. Okay? Listen, hell and heaven are a frame of mind. A frame of mind. Human beings create their own hell by their limiting, fearful, negative beliefs. They put themselves in loops that repeats over and over again the same negativity. That is torture. That is torment. To repeat the same horrible thing over and over and over and over again. Stuck in a loop. Yeah. And most times because they don't know who they are. They don't know their God-given rights, abilities, if you will. They've lost them. They're not aware. It's been clouded over by deception. The ones who wanted to have control. Yes. There's a lot of things in the world today that people are trying to hang on to so tightly because they make fortunes out of these things, and they don't want people waking up and realizing that there's so much more. But all those days are coming to an end. And I love that. Yes. The truth, the real truth about everything is coming out, and it's just going to get better and better from this point on. Now, am I bashing anybody in religion? I'm not bashing anybody. I was there. I absolutely was there. And I recall not so long ago being invited to a Bible group, and they love to sing and everything, and I write songs, and I've written numerous Christian songs, and numerous ones that actually could be appreciated by most religions. I even had a Jewish people call them the chosen people. They loved my music. Yeah, they said it was universal. But anyway, I was invited to this Bible group, and I hesitated because I don't see things quite the way they do, and I understand where they're at, because I'm not bashing them. But I asked my team about it, and they said, well, integrate the light. So I started to do that until I just couldn't sit there any longer. But anyway, it was sad to me for people to think that they were filthy rags. And I just couldn't do it anymore. It breaks my heart, because we are not filthy rags. We are very powerful souls. And what's going to be shown to us now is just who we are. Now, if you want to label yourself a witch, like I say, that's fine. I don't claim any particular religion. None. I am not a witch. I am not a Christian. I am not a Muslim. I am none of the above. My religion, I guess, if you wanted to put religion on it, would be one of love and unity and compassion. That's my religion. I believe that all souls, not just the ones in the United States of America, I believe all souls are worthy of love and compassion. And yes, you have some that move along in negativity. Well, so are the ones that are claiming to be the better ones. Whatever. But yes, if you claim to be a witch, that's fine. Namaste. If you claim to be a Christian, that's fine. Namaste. Muslim, Jew, whatever. We are all people. We are all souls. We are all fractals of the one true source of all that is. And we all end up in the same place. Even after we've argued for our limitations, set up our boundaries, we all end up in the same place. And not in the fiery pits of hell. No, that's man-made. It's man-made torment that man does for man's self. We will not walk around, unless you choose to. You can create that, because you are a powerful co-creator. But you just don't automatically go to streets of gold and wear robes and crowns, unless, of course, when you're there, you decide that. Because when you decide that, it'll appear for you. Just saying. There's no lag time there, not like here. Yeah, thank God for the lag time here, huh? We'd all be in pickles. But anyway, I just wanted to share that, because I've heard so many people being accused of demons, and you're a demon, or, oh, the devil's riding your back, or you're possessed, or you're a witch, or you're having no idea what any of that really truly means. They're all only under the influence of somebody's control and lies. Yeah. Okay, my belly's grumbling. It's breakfast time. It's a beautiful day. It's warm. It's pretty warm. But it's beautiful nonetheless. And I hope you enjoy your day. Remember, if you can, get out there and ground. It's not evil. Get out there. Put your feet in the grass. Touch a tree. Hug a tree. Spend time in nature if you can. It's very healthy. It's very grounding. You are a piece of nature. Your body. All right. Enjoy the rest of your day. My name is Nayoka Lynn. Namaste.